you don't want to elect a YouTuber into European Parliament is what I would have said to Cyprus if they hadn't already gone ahead and done that earlier last year. And this isn't any ordinary YouTuber that they elected. This is the person who made this video, has had some illegal scandals, and is one of the very last people I'd want to elect to Parliament. This person is YouTuber / European Member of Parliament, Fidias. But how did someone like this even get elected? And why shouldn't you vote for this guy in particular?
Fidias isn't just a YouTuber anymore. His actions, scandals, and influence could have far-reaching consequences beyond his own audience now. So who is this guy really? I mean, on the surface, he seems like a completely normal and nice guy. But once you look an inch deep into his videos, the true character of Fidias starts to emerge, and boy, it ain't pretty. And it becomes clear why you don't want him elected.
I'm a member of the European Parliament.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm Nemo B. Now, Fidias is actually born and raised in Cyprus, but he actually got famous from the first time that he ever left Cyprus and flew over 7,000 miles to the United States with one goal in mind. It was to try the double chocolate chip cookie from Costco. Boom, boom, boom. I'm joking, but he did have a goal. See, today Fidias stands as a channel with 2.6 million subscribers, only a little few more than me, I guess. But once upon a time, a while ago in 2021, he did upload some absolute classics when he was a bit smaller, such as Handcuffed to My Girlfriend While She's on Her Period. And also, who could forget the absolute classic of The Strongest Grass in Amsterdam, not clickbait. I mean, come on guys, we all watched those videos, right? Now, at the time he was uploading these videos in 2021, he actually had about the same amount of subscribers as me. Or well, he had about like 6 more. Yeah. To the 6 people who unsubscribed and make me drop from 1,000 subscribers, I hope the sound of a clock ticking at night keeps you awake. Yeah.
But Fidias' first taste of fame was actually pretty trend-setting. It all started with another YouTuber, Arak, who gained his initial fame by literally stalking Logan Paul until Logan Paul said he respected him. Fidias saw the strategy and thought, if it worked for Arak, why not do the same thing to him? So Fidias made a gift for Arak and flew 7,000 miles to America on a whim just to get his attention. He flooded Instagram and TikTok with posts urging his fans to bombard Arak's account with comments like a neglected child begging for food after their mother spent the child allowance on Marlboros. He actually met Arak quite quickly after getting into the States and gave him the gift. Now, do you want to know what the gift was? The gift he flew 7,000 miles with extremely high costs from Cyprus to the United States to deliver. It was a fucking piece of paper typed on a Word doc saying congrats on 1 million subscribers. I mean, I don't know, at least give him like a portable toilet or whatever it is they're selling on Temu these days.
This honestly is more important to me than my 1 million subscribers plaque from YouTube.
But would this have the payoff that Fidias would have hoped it would have? Because he might have just flown to the United States, which is over 7,000 miles once again with extremely high costs, for no reason. Now, my screen personally was almost white for the amount of glazing that happened in this video. I mean, the amount of like, that Fidias did to Arak was a little bit absurd for my liking. But Fidias, to be fair to him, had actually a genius stroke. He had a stroke that was really smart. So Fidias actually had a stroke of genius, and he actually put Arak on the spot right there and then in that video, asking if he can make another video with Arak. And you know what Arak was like? He was like, feck it, because Fidias had this big bubbly personality and seemed to be very outgoing. And this would actually lead to many collaborations happening between Fidias and Arak, and Fidias became a character on the Arak channel. This would last for about a year before Fidias would actually leave to focus on his own channel. Now, whilst we got somewhat of a taste of who Fidias was beforehand, now the spotlight is firmly shining on him as he's going to focus on his own channel and show the world who he truly is. And this is when we truly start uncovering who he actually is.
So now, Fidias has leached some fame off of Arak and is ready to show the world who he really is. One thing he wanted to say to the world is that Fidias is a bold YouTuber who loves trying to raise awareness and fight social issues. A very noble and respectable cause, but you want to know how he did show this? To do that, let's go back to the time where he pretended to be homeless for 3 days. I don't even get into how this is not even being close to actually representing homelessness, because after 3 days he just gets to go home and he doesn't have the same fear that they do that they'll never go home. But anyway, let's see how this video goes and if he graces us with any moments that end homelessness. Who knows? Maybe this guy will end the housing crisis.
I am going to spend the next 3 days homeless in Los Angeles, with the last day being the most dangerous street Skid Row.
LA's most troubled places.
Skid Row.
Gang members.
He actually stabbed a man in the head with an ice pick.
Firstly, I came to this park to make some new homeless people friends.
I find it so funny that he's literally doing a Mr. Beast formula styled intro on video, and the main stake for his video is that he'd be staying in a bad place. Whilst this is true, Skid Row isn't a nice place, it's incredibly distasteful, as he's literally baiting living in a place for one single night where people have to really spend every single night of their life there who are homeless. It's like if I played League of Legends for a day. It's disrespectful, as there's people, you know, have to suffer through that game every single day and they're depressed. He even interviews someone later who says he's lived there for 15 years in Skid Row, and yet he's gamifying living in this place just for one night for a video as a part of a challenge. When there's people who I guess do this challenge for 15 years straight. He actually asks a group of homeless people if he'd be able to survive being homeless, and I don't know, man. Maybe these people who've done it since they were literally 18 will tell you it's impossible to survive being homeless for 3 days. Now, this video is meant to be very motivational and moving, but it all just falls very, very flat. I mean, the whole Mr. Beastification of this video does no goodness for this video. I mean, like, the whole way that everything is just quickly paced, nothing settles on it. If he had done this in like a proper documentary style, it might have been good. But it is so main character syndromed. Like, Fidias really wants it to seem like he's been the good guy here doing all the good deeds, and that he's really inspirational. I mean, there's a time where he tries to be inspirational and have this like monologue to the camera, but he says about 2 sentences and then gives up because he doesn't know what else to say.
So what I understood here, people are like a community. Being here, I understood how lucky I am having a family that loves me, not... This is our meal.
And then there's not only that, this other guy makes like a really good like quote on like how he feels about in life. And you know what Fidias does? He turns to the camera and just says exactly what he said. Like, wow, great, I didn't hear it the first time. Thanks, Fidias.
So when you get called the problem enough, you start to feel like the problem, right?
Actually, what he said is very interesting, because if everybody thinks that you are the problem, you kind of starting feeling like you are the problem.
Okay. It might seem like I'm picking on him a lot, but I really just want to drive home how emotionless and how hollow these Mr. Beast-esque type of videos really are that Fidias is making. If there's anything to leave behind in 2024, it's my upload schedule and these type of Mr. Beast styled videos. Speaking of which, I'm trying to upload every month of 2025, so a like and a sub and a comment telling me what you'd like to eat at 2 PM on a Monday would be really supportive of that, so thank you very much anyway. So as a part of the challenge, Fidias is actually sleeping on the streets overnight, so you know, you'd probably expect him to be on the cold hard ground in the streets because he'd have no equipment with him. Well, I think the very last thing you'd expect him to actually do is not be sleeping on the cold hard ground, because I can't believe I'm actually saying this. He's doing this for a challenge. He genuinely stole a sleeping bag off of a real homeless person so that he could sleep in it for the night because he's doing a challenge where he has to be homeless.
I stole this from a homeless person. But I will put it back in the morning. I went and brought this sleeping bag because I'm very cold.
I mean, like, considering you're doing this as a challenge, and this is like the difference between like this guy who's actually doing this because he's actually generally homeless, and you're stealing his sleeping bag, and he's probably gonna get sick because he doesn't have a sleeping bag for night. It's just so twisted. I mean, it's not that serious, bro. You don't need to conduct theft to survive this challenge. You're doing it for just 3 days, man. One night of sleeping on the cold hard ground mightn't hurt you. But like, do you want someone who's failing to connect emotionally and being so tone deaf like this being in your government? Well, it's not the first time that there has been someone like that in power. You generally just still don't want them. Okay, there's one extremely funny moment. I don't think it was meant to be this funny, but why the hell is he trying to talk to other people pissing in a bathroom?
The Monica Pierre toilet. I'm peeing while recording. Hey guys! Oh, hey!
That's the one time you do not make small talk. I nearly thought it was like a Dax Flame skit for a second, to be honest. And there's also this other random moment where he's like super main character syndrome, where he just says some stuff about himself to a random group of people and they're like, okay, cool.
I am happy, disciplined, I'm not organized, a bit boring, I work all time, and that's it about me.
Okay. Now that last video really portrays Fidias as like a bad person and shows him being extremely out of touch, which is definitely the type of person that you want to elect into European Parliament. Isn't that right, guys? But that's not all, guys. There's another video of Fidias that involves numerous amounts of crimes and actually involves the continuing plague of influencers causing mayhem over in Asia. So Fidias was hosting a challenge video. For this video, he invited himself and a group of friends to participate. This was a big step up for Fidias, as he had never done such a major collaboration for himself, and he was hosting this challenge where the first person to cross all the way across Japan gets a cash prize of about a few $1,000. But there's a twist. The ultimate challenge is you cannot spend any money while doing this challenge.
Now, to put this in perspective, this is a distance of 3,000 kilometers. So of course, this is going to be a law-abiding video, and oh, he's trapped himself in the toilet of a train, and he hasn't paid for his ticket, has he? Oh, and the ticket inspector is waiting outside of the bathroom. Oh well, I guess that's the end of this video for Fidias. Or wait, what's this? He's just refusing to be detained by the ticket inspector, and he breaks free from his grasp and evades the police by hopping in a whole other different train and doing the exact same thing of hiding in a toilet. Okay, what the hell? Not only has this man illegally traveled on a train by resisting to pay a fine and a fare, he's also resisted arrest by hopping away on a train so they can't arrest him. I mean, look, to be fair, you can say how else is he meant to get all the way across Japan? And you are right, it would take a long time without doing this. Imagine walking all that distance. But have you considered that you could have also, and I know this is a brave and hard and dangerous thing to do, just not make the video in the first place?
I know. A YouTuber not making a video sounds preposterous. It's like a YouTuber's 9/11. I mean, I've had to do it before and I was heartbroken. Maybe if a video requires you to conduct illegal acts and film yourself doing that, it's probably not a good idea to conduct and follow through with that video. You know, you don't have to make it. I know, that might be a little bit of a controversial opinion, but it's only my little opinion, okay? But like, surely that's like the only time in that video that he only like breaks the law, but oh wait, he's going on a bus, and oh, he's refused to pay the fare, and he made the bus be massively delayed. Wow, what a nice guy. What an incredible guy, just doing all this for one YouTube video. Amazing.
And going back to that train ticket evading event he had, I forgot to mention this very important fact. See, I forgot to mention this video was filmed during 2021, and we all know how life was down there with lockdown and whatnot. And he was actually pretending to have the illness that caused that lockdown to happen.
So the only thing I could do is to pretend that I'm sick.
Just to avoid paying a train ticket for a YouTube video. I mean, man, especially doing this at the time, you were just pure scum of the earth and not a good person. As who does this for a fucking video? You ain't gonna die or anything. You don't have to do this. I've seen COD lobbies with more respect than this man. Now I want to go back and clarify something about the bus situation as well. So he actually owed 680 yen, and he had actually gotten 600 yen from a stranger, but he couldn't repay the remaining 50 cent or 80 yen that was left on the ticket. And the way Japanese buses work, you pay as you get off. So what actually happened to Fidias is he actually got driven to the police station by the bus driver, and as he was locked in the bus. Now surely that's enough, Fidias. Please stop evading money and freeloading. He's hungry. So you know what he decides to do? He enters a hotel, and no, he doesn't beg for food or leftovers. Fidias takes his challenge very serious and is above that level of desperation. He instead goes and finds a random room number and takes note of that number, and then he heads to the hotel's restaurant and uses that room number to get in. By the way, this is like a 5-star hotel, so a random room likely just got a humongous sum added to their hotel stay that they now have to pay for because Fidias was really classy and wanted some 5-star food for himself.
Now, if you remember, this video is actually part of a group challenge, so you may be wondering, surely the other members of this challenge also conducted some illegal crimes just like Fidias. They actually did the video completely legally, and they did the exact opposite of Fidias and instead begged for money or asked for the generosity of the Japanese people to help them get through the challenge. They actually paid their full fares for everything, bar this one guy who also did what Fidias did. But this isn't the only time he's done like a challenge video like this where he's conducted these illegal acts. He's also done the same challenge for both India India and the UK, where within the first few seconds of his India video, you can actually see him just getting on a train illegally, or in the UK, he gets in the luggage compartment of a bus. I mean, what riveting content. I love watching a guy in a luggage cabinet in the darkness. Now, I won't go into these India or UK videos, but just give it a rest, man. Like,
now, thankfully, there was some resolution to this. He got articles written about him, and he even received 2 strikes from YouTube for both the Japan and Indian video. So ask yourself again, is this someone you'd happily vote for and want representing your nation? I sure as hell hope he has no conferences in Japan, or else he might not be coming back. Well, let's just say, guys, it's even worse than this.
So instead of going on a spiel and talking about this next controversy, I just wanted to give you a single image and let it speak for itself. Yep, that's all. Thank you.
Actually, I was going to leave it at that, but in this video, he says he's raising money for charity, and he ends up actually raising about $20,000 for these people. But as this channel, Eruvangens, pointed out, he actually still hasn't given the money to these people of Burundi who are actually expecting this money any day now. But it's something to keep in mind that he may have not donated his charitable money to the actual charity itself and just kept it for himself. Maybe he spent it all on V-Bucks or to buy something from the Skibbity toilet collection in Fortnite. I don't know, man. I just work here.
Remember that thing he did to Eric earlier where he pretty much stalked and wanted to give him a gift? Well, that wasn't the last stunt that Fidias pulled like that. The most recent stunt he did of this big, like, stalking kind of content, I don't know what you even call it, was of someone of way bigger stature. This is by far the biggest stunt Fidias has ever done, bar obviously getting elected to EU Parliament. But this stunt he actually did plays a major role in his whole European Parliament and his performance in there and how he got elected, so I think it's really worth talking about here.
That person that he did the next stalking video on is Elon Musk. He wanted a hug off of Elon Musk, and man, this is one of a little bit of a crazy journey. This is no small video about him talking about hugging Elon Musk or doing it. This is a 76-part series of him trying to hug Elon Musk. Luckily, they're all short, so I can watch about 10 of them in 10 minutes but destroy my attention span. So the first plan of action is to camp outside a literal rocket test site until the richest man alive notices him and gives him a hug. Now, this is pretty flawless strategy. I'm sure he'd spot him immediately, and oh wait, 76 videos means 76 days, doesn't it? Day 2, and this guy is doing a skin cancer speedrun with how burnt he is. You know, I have to give it to the guy, he's got real dedication, but why would you do this to yourself? And the sign's so small, I'd be so surprised if you even saw the sign.
How long do you think I have to stay here?
So we're a week in, and man, if the employees don't even see Musk, which is bad on its own whole reason, I don't think you on the opposite side of the road are gonna see him either.
I decided to go and buy supplies for the next day. This is so cool. I got jealous from the girls. Now I want someone to push me. Anybody wants to push me? I found a person. Woohoo!
I will never get over how like main character syndrome this guy has. To first of all go into a place and see these 2 girls out in front of the shopping cart and then decide to make it all about you and just shout in the middle of a grocery store if anyone wants to come and push you around. I mean, it's just, I don't know, man. There's something about it.
I have Elon Musk number and I'm going to call him. SpaceX employee gave me this phone number. I'm calling.
Thank you for calling Tesla. If you know your party's extension, press 9.
I mean, man, you're probably like a joke within SpaceX employees. Like, there's a dude outside your work every day begging for something he's not going to get. They're obviously going to joke about you behind your back, man.
I always wanted to form a human sign, and today is the day. Our goal is to form a Hack Fidias sign and upload the photo on Twitter, so Elon Musk notices us. This is super cool. I'm coordinating people. I feel powerful. We need to sit like this with extended legs.
I really feel sorry for these people that came a long way just to be shouted at by Fidias and him feeling powerful from doing it. And the worst part is the end result picture is not even good. Like, you can barely make out what it says.
I'm going to dress up like Spider-Man outside SpaceX in order to hack Elon Musk. Ta-da! Stop to take some pictures.
Can you record a little video for my son?
Hello, son. Hopefully Elon will come soon.
Okay, So he dresses up as Spider-Man, and a dad comes up and asks him to record a video for his son. And his first instinct is, oh, this dad's coming up to me because I'm Fidias and I'm not wearing cultural icon outfit. Spider-Man, who you can't even tell I'm Fidias underneath. He doesn't even try and act as Spider-Man or even say hello to the kid. He just starts talking about himself, and his main character syndrome just gets in the way. But ignoring this, Fidias actually had a stroke of genius. He actually managed to get Elon Musk's attention. See, if he's almost a month in and has failed to get an inch of Elon's attention, why not try to get someone else's attention? The chosen target was Elon Musk's mother. Fidias informed his followers to spam her on Instagram to try and get her attention, to pass it on to Elon Musk, and well, I'll let Fidias just explain how well this went down.
His mother to tell him to hug me, and his mother today uploaded a tweet saying this: what is good about Twitter is you can complain about spamming on Instagram. Fidias asked his IG followers to spam me. I have removed over 500 comments. Elon Musk, please do not hack this malicious man. Stay safe. And after a couple of minutes, Elon Musk answered with this emoji in her tweet: I love you guys. I never wanted to cause you trouble. Mrs. Musk, I'm sorry.
So yeah, it looks like he's not going to be getting that hug anytime soon. I painstakingly then watched through a good few of the rest of the videos. My screen was almost white with the amount of Elon glazing I had to watch as he profusely apologized and started glazing him as he wanted to make up for this mistake he made.
Here we are, Twitter headquarters.
So at this point, Elon Musk has bought Twitter. Not much is really going to change, just getting rejected in a new area. But I want to let you know that as soon as he moved there outside Twitter HQ, he immediately got robbed, lost his passport and laptop.
The bodyguard of Elon Musk came to me and he said that I have 0% chance of me getting my hack and that Elon doesn't want to do anything with me.
I mean, damn, dude. I really wonder what keeps this guy going. His mother has told him not to hug him, he's been robbed, and now Elon Musk's personal bodyguard has said there's a 0% chance of it ever happening. The fact he doesn't give up is honestly super impressive, but still, good determination doesn't change his main character syndrome and every other point I've already mentioned about him.
Day 62, I will finally talk about this video.
If Fidias hugs me, I will call all of my security and take him to jail.
But so let's just skip to the good part, guys. Whereabouts is it here? Elon Musk finally said yes to it. Let's go with this one.
Elon Musk finally said this.
If you want me to hug him, I'll hug him.
Yes. And then he tweeted about it. Yes. Elon said you will hug me. Oh my god.
So that's it. Elon Musk is gonna hug Fidias. This is Fidias' golden scar moment. He's like, you open up chest on Fortnite and it's just a golden scar. He's got, but said for him it's Elon Musk, I guess.
The bodyguard of Elon Musk came and he said to me, come, we're going to do the hug now. And on the way that we were going upstairs, he said, you are going to have only your phone and you're going to only take a picture. And I said to him, no, I want to take a 10-second video. Then he came down and told me he's not going to hug you tonight. Now I feel stupid.
I mean, like, how close can you get to your goal that when you're that close, you're about to touch it, you get so self-centered that in that moment, the only thing you're thinking about is how you get the best footage, because a 10-second video is going to be way more useful than a single photo for your video, right? And that's all he's thinking about. See, the fact that he's getting this at all is such a blessing, but then his main character syndrome steps in, and this is like his moment. Now, he actually released some videos after this, like glazing Elon to try and make an apology again. And one of the videos he released a while later was pretty much saying that X is the place with the most intellectuals on it, and then you look at like the top reply to his tweet and it says, bro talking about some bots like they some geniuses, and it's just so true.
It's time to hug my hero, but more on that on the next video.
So guys, we did it. We actually hugged Elon Musk after 3 months. It's been an incredible journey. So there's a few takeaways from that near 3-month experience that when you couple all the previous takeaways from other points, it doesn't really add up for a good candidate to be elected to European Parliament. But oh yeah, we should probably discuss now how that all went down and how he's used his power so far.
So now you're probably wondering, why am I wearing a different set of clothes and why am I in a whole other different position? Well, I don't know. I just do that sometimes, I guess. But basically, my last script was poo, and some new developments have happened, so I wanted to redo this part of the video. So the way that Fidias announced to the world that he'd be running for these European elections in Cyprus, he went on a morning TV show, but he was wearing only his underpants and like 3 ties for some reason. He wanted to make sure everyone knew he was serious, by the way, and this is how about he conducted himself. Immediately, he was feckin' laughed at, of course, and he was not taken seriously at all, which was the opposite effect of what he wanted to have. But this actually became useful for Fidias, and he used it to his own advantage. Fidias became seen as a massive F you. He became a vassal of the people, saying, we don't like you so much to the other politicians that we're not going to vote for you, I'm going to vote for this joke of a guy instead. So basically, he was a protest / joke vote to say, we don't like you, which is why he actually got 17% of the votes of all of Cyprus in the elections, which was enough above some very established parties to put him into European Parliament. Now, this would have some consequences, as this actually hasn't really been the best decision for the EU as a whole, because what he's done has been particularly good in my opinion, and he's having a bad influence on the EU. But one question I've wondered the entire time is, where does Fidias stand on the political spectrum? I mean, he was very close to siding with the Green Party of Cyprus, but decided to run independently for these elections. He does seem to be left-leaning, but through the Green Party and whatnot, but you do have to consider the fact he absolutely idolizes Elon Musk. And also, yeah, he did like a 2-hour and 10-minute documentary interview with Andrew Tate. So, you know, just take it as you will with that, you know. Fidias is just one of the many members of a very large parliament in Europe. I mean, the EU parliament is made up of like hundreds of members, so to be honest, he won't be particularly standing out and won't hold any power just by holding this role. Whilst he can vote on things, it's not enough to push the weight on anything. This hasn't stopped him from campaigning for some causes and issues that he sees within the EU. One of the biggest things happening inside of the US and happening to Elon Musk right now is Doge, and that is something that Fidias has clearly taken a lot of inspiration from. Doge has been announcing massive layoffs and budget cutting everywhere in the United States. I mean, that's their whole purpose, the government of efficiency department. I don't know why I said that backwards, but yeah. Now, I must clarify though, Doge didn't exist when Fidias was originally making these propositions that we'll get into in 1 second, but basically what he did propose was that the EU should cut off 80% of its staff force. And do you want to know why he did this? Because obviously Doge didn't exist. So where did he get inspiration from? The thing is, Elon Musk did this for Twitter when he first took over the building. He cut off 80% of its staff, and that's why his whole reasoning for this is, if Elon Musk could do it for Twitter, we should be able to do it for the EU, right? And work perfectly fine, because X is definitely a great platform right now where my constant notifications aren't filled up with bots telling me I've won some kind of crypto Bitcoin giveaway. They're definitely real people, and there's also loads of moderation on the site, and you know, you definitely see a lot of good stuff. While this cutting stuff might be okay and feasible for like a company, for the government this isn't really such a feasibility. See, the government is like the last thing you'd want to make budget cuts for, because, well, it's the one thing that's making sure everyone's being looked after and everyone's being helped and whatnot. It's meant to help the people, right? That's what the government does. So blindly cutting 80% of the workforce just for the sake of it, because Elon Musk did it and it worked out well for his company, is kind of like the most stupid thing I think I've ever heard in my life. His love for Elon Musk at this point is pretty much just written on his forehead, like or even on his phone. I should say, actually, it is written on his phone. So yeah, I guess not enough said there. The European Parliament was also on the crack down on disinformation and influence in elections through social media that was occurring rapidly at the time. Something I personally feel is even a big issue to this very day myself. Fidias, with his knowledge on social media, obviously, as an influencer who makes illegal prank videos, he would know so much about how these platforms run, right guys? That's his credentials.
I'm one of the most qualified members of the European Parliament to talk about the use of social media platforms in elections.
Anyway, he makes a speech in front of Parliament and he's defending non-regulation of these platforms and, you know, openness of them. He makes basically a defense of these platforms and the non-regulation of them and keeping them open, which, you know, is fair enough. But then Fidias gets a response to his speech. And the speech is asking then, but how do you tackle this information being spread on these platforms without any regulation? Because that's a real issue. And this is his response.
I think, yes, there is some problems, but we need to find different tools. Labeling everything as disinformation is not going to... Where do you draw the line on disinformation and truth? Because a lot of the times in the past, like it was, we assumed something is disinformation, it was wrong. But maybe some new techniques of AI advancements and all this stuff to use on social media to... in a way, explore all the content and label something as wrong.
I don't know, Fidias. Maybe the line of disinformation and truth is when something is true, and when something is false, it's disinformation. I don't know, just a little idea I've had, guys. I'm workshopping. I think I keep to myself though, because I don't know anything. I'm not in EU Parliament, so I guess my opinion doesn't really matter, does it? Now, Fidias then is later asked within this same proceeding a question about how people are able to fund campaigns to influence people on social media platforms like X and TikTok. And the very first thing that Fidias does is he of course defends X. Of course, Daddy Elon cannot go on without being defended.
Now, I want to make one thing clear. Defending open speech and whatnot and like openness is alright and fair enough on regulation. Do whatever you want, Fidias. But the thing the EU is interested here in is like open sourcing of the X algorithm and TikTok algorithms, so we can understand, are they having a bias towards maybe pushing right or left content? Because it's been shown in studies that ever since Elon Musk has taken over as that it's been pushing far more right content. That's what they're trying to crack down on, is trying to keep an open playing field so that social media isn't brainwashing people to think a specific way that a social media platform wants people to think in, which is a very valid thing. In all the questions that Fidias was asked, he pretty much completely dodges or just doesn't understand the question. When he was asked, like, do we agree that this should be open and fair, all he does is talk about how exit polls are out of date and how they're not accurate because he had 2% exit polls and actually got 20%, which wasn't the question at all. So he's not good as a politician or answering these questions, which is quite concerning even for someone who's meant to be, you know, they were respecting him in these questions as someone who's meant to be an expert on social media. But he very much comes across as someone who doesn't really know what he's talking about, to be honest.
Elections were showing me 2% and I received 20% of the votes. So the new methods that we have doing polls and all this stuff is...
Now, because of this grand defense that Fidias did of X in front of the EU, of course, Fidias has to get a reward from Daddy Musk. And you know what this reward is? He gets like a quote tweet just saying that like, oh, Fidias is awesome. But this is a whole other thing. See, constantly Elon Musk has been rewarding Fidias with little shoutouts and endorsements on Twitter. And coincidentally, all of these are kind of on things that like Elon Musk agrees with and is in favor of, which definitely isn't giving positive reinforcement to Fidias to keep doing this and pushing Elon Musk's agenda. Maybe. I don't know. Fidias is clearly a man who's desperately trying to grab onto any bit of attention that he can get by a great determination. Whether it's begging Iraq or Elon Musk or just committing illegal crimes for videos, it's clear this man doesn't have very good integrity. Something I've said a million times in this video, by the way, I actually went sick of hearing it in my video. I don't know how you guys put up with it, but he has such main character syndrome. And it's very prevalent and just shows that he's such a very narcissistic man who only really thinks about himself. Now, one thing I want to say that Fidias has done good is he's made lots of videos about the EU to young people to show how the system works, which has actually been quite informative. But, you know, so he's not totally evil, but, you know, obviously he does have his shortcomings, like I've mentioned many times in this video. Him being in EU Parliament isn't a good thing whatsoever, in my opinion. He's clearly been influenced by Elon Musk, which is somebody that the EU is clearly trying to fight right now, so it's not really a good matchup right there. But hey, if you enjoyed this video, you'll love my last video on why meme coins aren't just memes. And if you could subscribe and like, that would mean so much to me. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next month.